Hey, good morning. I hope this Tuesday finds you doing well. This is the day after Labor Day, and of course, I spent yesterday on the video talking about sanctity of life and defense of the unborn, and my body, my choice, and all that. The rest of the week, the Lord willing, I'd like to talk about all that the Bible says about labor and Labor Day. Yesterday, we celebrated Labor Day. Hope most of you had a day off, maybe even a day off with pay. If you owned a company, you didn't get a day off with pay. You just got a day off. But hopefully it was a day off with pay. Talking about Labor Day. Some people think that work is a four-letter word, and technically it is spelled with four letters, but it's not one of those bad words. It's not a curse word. It's not unusual to have a job that we aren't necessarily thrilled to go into, but I hope by the time you come to the point in your life that I don't know, you have a lot of responsibility and those kinds of things. I hope you have work that you enjoy, or at least enjoy most of. There may always be aspects of it that you don't like, but I certainly enjoy the calling God has on my life and the vocation that I have. I think thank the church for taking care of me so well, and all those kinds of things. But work is not a bad word. There's great satisfaction in doing our work and doing it well. Great satisfaction in that. And we need to keep this in mind. I went back to Genesis 2 and Genesis chapter 3 to prepare for today. Genesis 2, before the curse, God made creation, said it was good. As far as we know, creation was perfect when it was made. Genesis 2:15 says, "And God placed man in the garden to tend it and keep it." In other words, the garden was growing. There was fruit to be picked. There was pruning to be done to encourage more growth and more production. And so Adam had responsibility. Adam had work. Then when we get to Genesis chapter 3, sin entered the picture. Adam and Eve were tempted to question God, and in questioning God, they set out on their own way. They listened to the lies of the devil that sin would make them wiser, that sin would make them smarter, that sin would make them better, that they could even be their own gods. And sin tells us that lie. But the unique thing is, as we look at it, one of the effects of sin, the curse of sin, in Genesis 3, 17, 18, and 19, God said, "You won't tend the ground," as he did in Genesis 2:15. He said, "You will toil," in Genesis 3:17. He said, "In toil you will work the ground, and it will not yield to you the way it used to. In fact, it will bring forth thorns, briars, and thistles." And then he said in verse 19 of chapter 3, "By the sweat of your brow, by the sweat of your brow you'll earn your living." Doesn't necessarily mean that Adam didn't sweat before, but the implication is that work just got harder. Work just got more difficult. Work just got more complicated and more challenging. And so in that sense, this rat race that we find ourselves in is all part of the curse. However, work existed before the curse. Thank the Lord for your work. Do your work well, and if you're responsible to honor workers and pay workers, make sure you do that. As you go out and eat at a restaurant, make sure you take care of your servers. I thought about this just the other day. $2 or $3 makes a huge difference between a less than adequate tip. I'm talking below 15%, below 18%, and a generous tip, 20% and more. $2 or $3, and you got $2 or $3 there in the console of your vehicle. So honor those who work for you. Take care of those who are your workers. And in most cases, it doesn't make a huge difference to our bottom line to take care of those who are serving us. Hey, have a great Tuesday, all for His glory. Remember, we've got Wednesday night supper coming up this week. I'm looking forward to that at 6:15 on Wednesday evening. Take care and God bless.